Hymn number 707, Hymn of Praise. Please be seated. Today we read the story, a long story, the story of Lazarus. And we see in this story that Martha and Mary sent for Jesus because Lazarus was ill. And rather than going to Lazarus and healing him, Jesus waited for 2 more days, and then after 2 days he started on his journey back to Judea. And he told his disciples that Lazarus had fallen asleep. We use that euphemism that people are what? Dead. So Jesus finally had to tell them, Lazarus is dead. And that I'm going back. And we see that they said, Lord, going back there, the Jews are going to kill you. Took 4 days for him to travel from where he was up in Judea, around, down. And by that time, Lazarus had died and was in the tomb for what? 4 days. Whenever we lose a loved one, we as human beings feel the grief, the loss. And it's a time where we mourn. And we see that several friends, because the town where Martha and Mary lived was about 2 miles, so it was walking distance from Jerusalem, that a lot of Jews had gone out to visit them. And they were comforting Mary and Martha as they mourned the death of their brother. And the Jewish tradition is they usually mourn for 7 days. I can feel their pain, their sorrow. In the psalm, we read these words, out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. Out of the depths, as we feel the grief, the loss, as we mourn, here the psalmist is mourning. He's crying to God for help. Listen to it say, Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my supplication. He goes on and points out, if you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, Lord, who can stand? The reality is, we are sinners. We could not stand before God. But thanks be to God that God is a loving, forgiving, merciful God who accepts us. We see many times we are like those dry bones in Ezekiel. We are out in the depths. We read that famous passage from Ezekiel where it says, "The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me by his Spirit to this land, a valley full of dry bones." And Ezekiel was told, "Son of man, prophesy to these bones." And we see that God finally revealed that these bones were symbolic of Israel. He said, picking up in verse 11, "Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. They say our bones are dried up, and our hope is gone." I don't know how many of you, whenever you are faced with grief, sorrow, problems, you feel that life is what? Hopeless. There are many of us, like Martha and Mary mourning the loss of their brother. They felt like there's no hope. Why should we go on? But Ezekiel was told, prophesy to these dry bones, because God is a God of resurrection. Isn't that what Jesus told Martha? I know many times we pick on Martha and Mary because Martha was busy. But here we see Martha was the one that first went out to meet the Lord, while Mary was still inside crying, mourning, until Martha came back and told us the Lord is here, wants to see you. And the question that was asked to Martha, do you believe in the resurrection? Do we believe in the resurrection? And Martha answered, yes, Lord, I believe in the resurrection. In the last days, on judgment, we will see one another again. But hear these words of Jesus from verse 25. And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whosoever live by believing in me will never die. As Christians, that is our faith, that Jesus Christ is the what? The resurrection. In the passage of Romans, Paul points out that there are two ways of living. He points it out this way: the mind governed by the flesh is death. And in reality, death happens to all of us. I don't know about you, but 96 years, that was quite a few years before we live. I hope I get into the 90s. 96. But in reality, 96 years is still what? Short. Life is short. One day we will all die. And what Paul is saying is, if we live our lives just for the physical, for the life and the mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is what? Life and peace. And here he's making this contrast. And he points out, picking up in verse 10, but if Christ is in you, even though your body is subject to death because of sin, the Spirit gives life. Yes, one day we are all subject to what? Death. But because of our faith in Jesus Christ, who is the resurrection and life, even though we are subject to death, the Spirit gives life. Isn't that what Ezekiel was saying? Verse 14 of Ezekiel says, I will put my Spirit in you, and you will live. What a great metaphor Ezekiel had. dry bones, that we had flesh and blood. But until the Spirit entered in, it was what? Still dead. The body without the Spirit is dead. God's promise is, I will put my Spirit in you. The word of the Lord. Or hymns 701, when we all get to heaven. Please stand. Dismissal, which will be found in the faith we sing, 2282. We are a people loved by God, blessed with hope and covered by the grace of God. We can rest assured that we, who are redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, will see Jesus and be with God in life everlasting. Go in peace, share the good news, walk with God.
Amen.